I call the 3 p.m. session of the August 27, 2024 meeting of the Henry County Board of Supervisors to order. I'd like to welcome all of our visitors. Remind you that if you want to address the board, you must sign up 7 days in advance of any of our regular meetings to be put on the agenda. The county administrator is the contact person for the board. However, the public also may address the board under the agenda item matters presented by the public that will take up later in the meeting. That's agenda item 14 in our 6 p.m. session. Again, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming out and being a part of your county government. Our first item of consideration as far as agenda today is agenda item number 5, the items of consent. What is the pleasure of the board in regard to the items of consent?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the items of consent.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? It is 6-0, Jennifer. Agenda item number 6, we'll have a monthly report on delinquent tax collection efforts. We have with us County Treasurer Scott Grindstaff. Scott, welcome.
Thank you. This is our report for end of July. As of July 31st, personal property tax collection, we have collected 90.61% of the 23 personal property taxes. During the month, we collected $111,870. Real estate collection as of July 31st, 2024, we have collected 94.54% of the 2023 real estate taxes. During the month, we collected $45,086. Since January 2024, TACS has collected $585,770. And debt set off this year, we received $4,917 back August 16th. As the total for 2024 is $387,646. And so far in the month of August, we've had 8 DMV stops. Right now in my office, we have the real estate bills for 2024 at the printers, and hopefully they'll be in the mail, if not finished in the mail by Friday, sometime by next week for our 2024 real estate bills.
Okay, great.
And at this time, I'd like to plant a seed. I'll have one agenda for next month that, the last 3 years, real estate was due October 1 with the late payment of December 5th. In the last 3 years, our personal property has been pushed back to February due to staffing problems at the Commissioner's office. It's going great this year. Tiffany's doing a great job, but I would like to suggest the board consider keeping our personal property February 5th. Because, I always hear that we don't want to be a burden, tax burden on our constituents, your constituents, my constituents. And I don't think anything worse we can do than to have our 2 main tax due dates on the same date. And, historically, December 5th has been the date. Back in the 1700s, we were getting our crops in and paying them. But December 5th is still probably majority, but a lot of the localities now have twice a year billing for real estate, so they separate that. But I'm just asking to consider for our taxpayers not to have the due dates on the same day. So I'm going to put something formal on next month's agenda, and I also invite y'all within the next 30 days to come by my office and talk to me personally. I'll fill you in.
Would there be 2 separate mailings?
There's 2 separate mailings now.
Okay.
Still be one real estate, one personal property. I still want the due date on the same day.
Right.
Plus, December 5th, before Christmas, I can't get you anything nice. Gene, before Christmas. So, it's just, I'm trying to take the burden off our taxpayers. And the 3 years we've had to do it because of the issues with the Commissioner's office has been fixed. Haven't had any complaints. I think it's actually someone like it. Plus, February, a lot of them come in and pay it when they get their tax returns. So it's a good thing for the citizens.
Would you be able to give us a historical look at how much money was typically collected on that due date versus the extension? Is there a gap of a couple months of revenue lost by delaying it?
I'm sure there's, with the due date being different, it's not coming in closer to February, but the collection on my end, the collection rate's been about the same for the last 3 years. You know, still, if you remember prior to 17, when we still had those horrible things called decals, you know, the due date was December 5th for personal property taxes, and I bet a third of our citizens didn't pay it till April 15th when they had to buy their decals. So budget-wise, I don't think it affects us. I don't think it's hurt us. I don't know if y'all heard anything that the budget's been affected by moving it to February 5th. I haven't in my office, but you know, if y'all would like to discuss it, that's why I want to give you a heads up, paint the seat down. I'll put it on the agenda for next month, but I wish y'all take the time to come by and see me in the next 30 days.
All right. Does anyone have anything else for Mr. Rhinestaff? All right, thank you. Agenda item number 7, adoption of the Henry County Energy Action Plan. Mr. White.
Good afternoon, Board. In May of this year, Brandon Martin, along with faculty of George Mason University, presented the draft Henry County Energy Action Plan. Afterwards, the plan was posted to our website and the public was encouraged to comment on it. And we did receive a few comments, mostly were questions that we were able to answer. Localities are encouraged to have a plan in place in order to apply for certain federal grants, and it could help and improve the chance of getting certain other federal and state grants in the future. Henry County is under no obligation to implement any of the action items identified in the document. And a copy of the plan is included in your packet, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have about it.
And by no obligations, there is no mandate to follow any portion of it.
That's correct.
And of course, there's 50 pages of material that the board has had an opportunity to review twice, once on the presentation back a number of months ago, and then of course as part of the board packet. As with anything, there are some pluses and maybe some questions on it, and I've heard from some of the board members and even the community expressing that we're not forced to do anything, but at least we have it on the books that we have an energy plan, which might benefit things like weatherization of homes. Someone that's struggling otherwise that wouldn't be able to put windows and or weatherization in a home, and along with numerous other things that affect individual homeowners.
That is an excellent example of where it might be a great opportunity to help our residents with making their homes more energy efficient. Maybe opportunities to replace higher energy light fixtures in our buildings, in our county buildings, with energy efficient lighting. So those are some practical examples. You know, there are other examples listed in the book that may or may not be done in the future. And let me liken it to the comprehensive economic development strategy that you approve every couple of years, the SEDS, it's called, where we identify our economic development strategy. And in that we have items listed of potential projects and things we would like to do. And as you know, many of those items will never come to fruition in that document. And we've changed those documents when a new opportunity came up during the year. We could change that document to add a prospective industry that we're recruiting here, perhaps capitalize on economic development administration funds to use that. This document would serve very similar. Nothing in it is an absolute. We don't have to do it if the board chooses not to do it, and we can change it as we go along. If we see other opportunities we need to add to it or take away, we can certainly do that in the future as well.
Well, you gave a good analogy, the SEDS document. Most of that is waiting on grant funding or the competitive grant process. Dr. Cobbler and myself both serve on the West Piedmont Planning District Commission, which kind of compiles the SEDS document. And so again, some people look at it as maybe a wish list, but it's in practical terms, it's just planning in itself.
And the items on the list was done through a series of community meetings and focus groups. That's what residents in our community said should be on the list.
All right. Thank you for answering those questions. The board has had an opportunity to review this, and like I said, it's like 50 pages in this. I don't know that I could go to any particular page unless it was pointed out for a specific question. But what is the desire of the board as far as adopting the Henry County Energy Action Plan?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adopt the Henry County Energy Action Plan as it was presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's 5-1. Jennifer. Agenda item number 8 will take up financial matters, beginning with 8A, an award of contract referencing architectural and engineering services for the Public Safety Campus Master Plan. Mr. Wagner.
Staff is asking the board to award a contract in the amount of $118,500 to RRMM Architects for architectural engineering services for development of the Public Safety Campus Master Plan. The initial phase of the project will include facility assessments of the existing buildings, development plans and schematics to retrofit an existing building on the DuPont property into perhaps usage by the Sheriff's Office, and establishing a strategic location and design for an animal services building, as well as a few other items within the plan. The plan will also assist us in seeking various funding solutions to help pay for this project. The purchasing department has authorized using an existing contract with RRMM for this portion of the project, and funding for the master plan was included in the fiscal year 2024 capital improvements plan budget.
In regard to the awarding of this contract, what action would the board like to take?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to award a contract in the amount of $118,500 to RRMM Architects for architectural and engineering services related to the Public Safety Campus Master Plan.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Is 6-0. Jennifer. 8B, an award of contract referencing consulting services for our active transportation plan. Mr. Wagner.
Staff is asking the board to award a contract to Berkeley Group LLC in the amount of $73,033 to prepare an active transportation plan for Henry County. An active transportation plan is a comprehensive set of strategies to ensure better transit, walking, and biking options. The plan is developed based on public and stakeholder inputs and provides a foundation for improvements to our transportation system, including trails in Henry County. 100% of the funding of this project is provided through a U.S. Department of Transportation Thriving's Community Grant that was previously appropriated. And Berkeley Group was selected for the project following a request for proposal process.
All right. With the awarding of this contract, what is the desire of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to award a contract to Berkeley Group LLC for $73,033 to prepare an active transportation plan for Henry County.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Is 6-0. Jennifer. 8C, an award of contract referencing administration building electrical upgrades for the Building and Grounds Department. Mr. Wagner.
Staff is asking the board to award a contract to RRMM Architects for $106,850 to provide architectural and engineering services for upgrades to the primary electrical components of the administration building. This building, constructed in 1974, and most of its existing electrical components are original to the construction, and replacement parts are no longer available. RRMM will provide design drawings and specifications for replacing the power distribution system, which will then go out for competitive bid to select a contractor for the project installation. The Purchasing Department has authorized an existing contract with RRMM for this portion of the project, and funding for the upgrades were included in the fiscal year 24 capital improvements plan budget.
With that, is there a desire to make a motion to approve this?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to award a contract to RRMM Architects of Roanoke for $106,850 for architectural and engineering services related to the electrical upgrades at the Henry County Administration Building.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? It's 6-0. Jennifer. 8D, an additional appropriation referencing Virginia Department of Elections grant funds for the General Registrar's Office. Mr. Wagner.
Registrar Dawn Stoltz Vaughn is asking the board to approve an additional appropriation of $6,046 received through the Virginia Department of Elections grant program. According to Mrs. Stoltz Vaughn, the grant will be used to purchase a ballot on-demand printing system that will allow the registrar's office to print ballots during early voting for smaller elections versus ordering various amounts of pre-printed ballots that may not get used. And the registrar is here, she can everything.
With that, what action would the board like to take in regard to this additional appropriation?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the appropriation of $6,046 from the Virginia Department of Elections for the purchase of a ballot on-demand printing system.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Is 6-0. Jennifer. 8E, an additional appropriation referencing Economic Development Access Grant Funds for the Patriot Center Industrial Park. Mr. Wagner.
Staff is asking the board to approve an additional appropriation of $100,000 received from the Virginia Department of Transportation Economic Development Access Grant Program. The grant funds are designated to update the plans and specifications for improvements to the Beaver Creek Drive and the Patriot Center Industrial Park. There is no local match required for this grant.
What motion would the board like to offer on this additional appropriation?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the appropriations of $100,000 received through the VDOT Economic Development Access Grant Program as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? It is 6-0. Jennifer. 8F, an additional appropriation referencing Department of Criminal Justice Services grant for the Sheriff's Office. Mr. Wagner.
Sheriff Wayne Davis is asking the board to appropriate grant funds in the amount of $45,000 received from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services through their School Resource Officer Grant Program. Sheriff Davis intends to use the funds to provide an SRO at the Career Academy for the current school year. The grant does require a local match of $13,042, which will come from the Sheriff's Office, current budget, and in-kind products.
In regard to this additional appropriation, what is the desire of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board approve the appropriation of $45,000 received through the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services, the SRO grant program, as it was presented to us.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Is 6-0. Jennifer. 8G, an appropriation referencing the Monogram Foods Smith River Sports Complex for Parks and Rec. Mr. Wagner.
Staff is asking the board to approve an additional appropriation totaling $510,396 to reconcile the fiscal year 2024 operating budget for the Smith River Sports Complex. And as you know, the county took over operation of the sports complex on July 1st, 2023. Thus, there were no funds included in the fiscal year 24 budget for the operations of that when we did the budget. However, we did have a plan in place to address those fees and operational costs. We received a grant from the Harvest Foundation of $250,000. We increased the transit occupancy tax from 2% to 5%. And we've also collected revenues from recreational fees, concession sales, and various fees and charges related to operation of the Smith River Sports Complex. So simply, this is a request to reconcile the accounts to match with what the actual revenues and expenditures were for the operational year last year.
I have a question. Do we have a plan in place if we don't receive that grant in the future from the Harvest Foundation?
So we included a budget this year, so we were able to include Smith River Sports Complex in the county's budget. There's an operating revenues budget to account for its operation.
Thank you.
All right. With that, what is the action the board would like to take in regards to this appropriation?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the $510,396 to reconcile the fiscal year 2024 operating budget for the Monogram Foods Smith River Sports Complex as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Is 6-0. Jennifer. 8H, an appropriation of funds referencing special construction grant funds for the Planning, Zoning, and Inspection Department. Mr. Wagner.
Staff is asking the board to approve an appropriation of $163,000 from the special construction grant funds to the Villa Heights housing project. These are funds from various housing projects over the past many years that have been accumulated and must be used only for development type projects. The planning department is asking to appropriate these funds that they can use to cover incidental expenses related to the development of the Villa Heights housing project.
Although with this being a countywide project that we'd like to get underway, Mr. Bryant, I believe this is in your district if you would choose to make a motion.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion to approve the appropriations of $163,000 from the special construction grant funds for the Villa Heights housing project as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I guess I'd just like to
Yes, sir.
ask, you said it's coming from the special construction grant fund. How much is in that account, or is that something,
$163,000.
so that's all of it?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's highly likely when we finish this project, there'll be some left over that we can carry over to the next.
Okay,
That's typically how we've done it in the past. We just move it from one project to the next.
okay.
All right. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? It is 6-0. Jennifer. That takes us to agenda item 9, informational items. I'll begin by taking comments from the board, beginning with Dr. Cobbler. Mr. Pruitt.
Nothing.
Mr. Dillard.
Yeah, I just want to thank several folk. Sometimes when you serve in a role like this, you make requests and you send requests in, and it seems like sometimes it takes a minute for those things to come to fruition. But, was able to call Miss Julie and Dale about a situation, and, the family called and said they left to go to a meeting, got back, and it was taken care of. Look, right down by Axton Elementary School, VDOT, something that, we spent some time talking about, have put in a turning lane, and, appreciate, them putting the time and energy to make that happen. Rode down through Sandy Level in one of the houses that was burned, I guess 6, 7, 8 months ago. It finally came down, and, glad of that, and just want to really commend Sheriff Davis and his team. It seems like you can't pick the paper up every 2 days and somebody's been arrested for drugs, and we don't want people to get arrested, but we do have to, deal with our drug problem, and that's one of the things that Sheriff Davis in his election platform said he was going to do, and he said it, he meant it, and just want to, thank him for that. And, I just, think those things really create positive energy throughout the community. And I think as we all execute our jobs to that level, that energy, transfers to other folk, it instills confidence in our citizens that you make a request, the job is completed, and, then it just highlights, that, our problem solving skills. People call us to get things done. They call the sheriff's department. They call, public safety. And when we execute those things, we do those things, it instills that confidence in our community. And that's, one of, I guess, our unforeseen responsibilities is to let the community know that their local government works for them. Their local government will take care of, their needs, their responsibilities. And I appreciate all of those folk and, everybody else who is executing for our citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Dillard.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Campbell. Mr. Bryant.
No, sir.
And I don't have anything. Mr. Wagner.
A couple of things I want to add about one of the financial items with the grant for the school resource officer. I think it's good news for our school system and the sheriff's office to the collaboration they've had over the past year. With this grant, we have an SRO at every school in Henry County, so that's good news for our community. This past weekend at the Smith River Sports Complex, our Parks and Rec staff hosted the Smith River Fest, and by all accounts, it was the most successful in the 16 years we've been doing it. It was the best weather we've ever had, and estimates are right at 3,000 people attended that event from all around our community, so it brought many people here. I don't know if you had a chance to participate in it, but we're very happy with the outcome, and it's a great event that we do for our community. Just a reminder, coming up, Labor Day, Monday, September 2nd, is a holiday. September 7th is the Bassett Heritage Festival. And then on September 17th and 18th, the Virginia Department of Transportation is holding their Commonwealth Transportation Board meeting in Roanoke. So I'm working with the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor. We're going to bring a contingency to that meeting to lobby for funding improvements throughout 220 and Ridgeway particularly. So you're welcome to attend that with me if you have an interest in that.
Dale, could I add something else too? I know that Spencer Penn, in the past has had their Spencer Fair, and then they discontinued it. Well, they're starting back this year. And I was looking for the date. I believe it's the third Saturday in September. I was looking for the date on that.
The 14th or the 21st.
21st, I believe.
Spencer Penn Fair.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be called the fair as per se, but it's going to kind of replace the fair. Sheriff, can you add some more information?
It's primarily for the event with the Spencer Brewery. It will also be having a student day right beside, so it will be a community event.
And is it the 21st?
That is correct. We'll be having a fun run and walk for the kids as well, about a 1 mile run around the complex.
Thank you.
And then my last item, on August 8th, we had Tropical Storm Debbie that came through our community, and all indications prior to the storm that we were going to be hit significantly with rainfall that would be devastating to our community. And just county staff, at the lead of Public Safety Director Matt Tatum, really stepped up, activated our emergency operations plan, and we were prepared for the worst. Our staff did a tremendous job getting ready for that, and we would much rather do that and not have a disaster than not be ready and have a disaster. So kudos to the public safety team, all the department managers and all the employees for stepping up to make sure we were ready to minimize the impact of that storm should it have been devastating to Henry County. And fortunately, it brought us some much needed rain. So prayers answered there for sure. And I lied, I do have one more item. Is we're working on the legislative agenda to present to the General Assembly. So if you got any ideas for inclusion on that, feel free to reach out to me and get us to bring them back to you in a month or so for consideration.
Thank you. That takes us to agenda item number 10. If someone will cite the items as allowed by the Code of Virginia and Freedom of Information Act that will allow us to go into closed meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board convenes in a closed meeting as permitted under the following sections of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, 2.23711A7 for discussion of pending legal matters, 2.23711A3 for discussion of the acquisition, disposal of real estate, and 2.23711A5 for discussion of as yet unannounced industries.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? It's 6-0, Jennifer. I'll see board members upstairs in 5 minutes. Closed meeting on a motion by Ms. Buchanan and a second by Mr. Pruitt. Mr. Powell, will you poll the board, please?
Yes, sir. Board members, to the best of your knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under Code of Virginia Section 2.2-3711 were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting. How do you vote, Mr. Adams?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bryan?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Buchanan?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dillon?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Calver?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pruitt?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wagner, do you have any items of that we need to consider prior to a recess?
I do.
Board members, do you have any items? If not, we will declare a recess and start promptly at 6 p.m. for our evening session. I'll call the 6 p.m. session of the August 27, 2024 meeting of the Henry County Board of Supervisors back to order from our recess that we had taken from our afternoon meeting. I'd like to welcome all of our visitors. Remind you, if you want to address the board specifically and be put on an agenda, you need to contact the county administrator's office at least 7 days in advance of any of our regular meetings to be put on the agenda. However, the public may address the board under the agenda item, matters presented by the public that we'll take up as agenda item number 14 tonight. Again, thank you all for coming out tonight and being a part of your county government. Our first agenda item that we will consider tonight is agenda item number 11, presentation of the Community Connected Citizen Award. Mr. Wagner, will you give us a brief background, and then I think we'll pass this over to Dr. Cobble.
The Community Connected Citizen Award, also known as the Triple C Award, recognizes Henry County residents who selflessly dedicate their time and energy to making our community a better place. The Triple C Award is designed to recognize the everyday contributions of our citizens performing acts of public service that often culminate to have a tremendous impact. These acts deserve to be commended and, more importantly, to be recognized. And tonight we have two individuals that will be recognized by Dr. Pam Cobb.
Thank you. I'd like to call to the podium Miss Martinsville and Henry County, Jenna Adams, and Miss Martinsville and Henry County teen, Megan Durham. Thank you. I've had the honor and privilege to work with these girls through the service of the Miss Virginia organization, and I've asked them to speak for themselves instead of me telling you what they've done in terms of service for our county. I'd like for them to address the board and the audience here, and then also I'd just like to say that Megan lives in the Ridgeway district, and Jenna is in the Bassett district. Thank you, girls.
Thank you. What an honor to be here tonight and to be recognized by you all. When I won the Miss Martinsville Henry County title in February, I didn't know how my life would change. I have been able to meet people from all over our community, compete in the Miss Virginia pageant, and volunteer my time to many different causes. I will never forget this time in my life and being able to serve my hometown. The Miss America crown has 4 points: style, scholarship, success, and last but not least, service. Dressing up and attending events is fun and exciting, but the most important part of wearing this crown is about giving back into your community. My service to Martinsville and Henry County has been my favorite part of wearing this crown. I have worked hard to help change my community for the better, but what I found is that this community has changed me. I have been welcomed, hugged, photographed more times than I ever thought possible in these last few months, and it has been my honor to hold this title. I've had the privilege to meet delegates, senators, congressmen, and the First Lady of Virginia. I've attended meetings with the Lions Club, the Bassett Kiwanis, Senior Services, and the Disability Rights and Resource Center. I've helped raise raffle money for Patrick Henry Community College, and I've spent time with our local veterans. I've passed out food to the needy and made many other appearances throughout the area promoting my platform to feed daycare children called Tiny Tummies. I'm so blessed to receive this recognition tonight and to call this place my home. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is so nice to see all of your lovely faces today. I just want to thank Henry County Board of Supervisors for inviting me to speak today. I also want to thank my family for supporting me along this journey. A big thank you to Ms. Pam Koppler, and also she's such an amazing instructor and also just a life coach in general. I also really want to thank my sister-in-law, Alina, for the countless hours that she has spent helping me learn how to walk and talk. I could not have done it all without everyone's help. I hope everyone had a good weekend. My name is Megan Durham, and I'm so honored to be here today to share a little bit about my pageant experience experience and what it means to be a title holder, giving you some special insight on the iconic Miss America crown. So I competed in a local level pageant some time ago, and as you can see, I earned this title, known as Miss Martinsville Henry County's Teen. And all I can say is wow, you all make Martinsville and Henry County such an amazing place to represent. Go ahead and give yourselves some applause for all of your hard work. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's address the elephant in the room. What is this shiny thing on my head? I mean, obviously, it's a duck. Just kidding, you all know it's a crown. But what you might not know is that it's so much more than just that. The 4 points represent scholarship, success, style, and service. These 4 points of the Miss America crown. And to succeed in the Miss America system, contestants need to excel in all 4 areas. Now, 4 categories seem pretty easily attainable, correct? Wrong. Pageants are a lot of work, but a lot of fun and glitter. So, how do we go about fulfilling these 4 points? Let's start with scholarship. Scholarship to the Miss America organization means putting forth extra effort to be the most educated in any and all subjects to become successful. Now, while I have a few academics accomplishments, such as top 10% in Broadcom Masters 2 years in a row, I'm currently in Honor Society in my old school and transferring to my new school. I take AP and dual enrollment classes. But scholarship isn't just about obtaining a 4.0 GPA. Rather, it's about a lifelong passion for loving and growing and learning about knowledge. Something I have learned through my life is that education can open doors and grant opportunities to inspire change. As a type 1 diabetes warrior, I partner with Breakthrough T1D, formerly known as a JDRF, to inspire change that will improve the lives and bring about a breakthrough for a cure. Education is the key for that change and success, which leads me to the next point of the crown, success. I like to think that everyone holds success within them. It's just how you turn it into an action for positive change. For me, success means trying new and challenging things, whether that be flying as a varsity cheerleader, singing and performing as Tinkerbell, Dorothy, or Cinderella on a stage to hundreds of people, or competing in my first pageant. Success means chasing my type wonderful dreams, no matter what adversity I face. Success means continually trying my best even after I fail. I measure my personal success by the knowledge that I have given 110% of my efforts reaching my goals while helping others along the way. The Miss America opportunity recognizes and invests in young women who strive for and achieve great success. Next is style. You can't achieve success without a smile on your face. And who doesn't like picking out cute outfits? Guys, don't. The word style, by definition, means a manner of doing something. To me, style is so much more. Style is not just about how you reflect your unique personality, but it's also about what makes you who you are. I am a type 1 diabetes warrior, and as such, I have different types of technology that are connected to my body, which gives me a special opportunity to show my style in a creative way. Wearing both an insulin pump and continuous glucose monitor is an example of that. I proudly show my pump and CGM off wherever possible. This not only shows others that I am a T1D warrior, but it also gives me confidence in who I am. To me, that's exactly what style should reflect, who you are. But last and definitely not least is service, which is exactly what I'm here to talk about. I was raised to recognize the importance of a 2-word phrase, servant leadership. Leadership can only be accomplished through the example of service. Servant leadership is just part of my family's DNA. And ironically, it's part of the Miss America Opportunities DNA as well. I love to lead by serving. I love serving at my church, my school, and my community. I especially love serving and representing my fellow T1D warrior community throughout my community service initiative called Type Wonderful Dreams. I also love inspiring and educating others to serve. But I want to end by recognizing the people who have served me. I love this community. This community has made the impossible feel possible. You have all helped me reach financial goals I didn't even know I could reach. And these include the week before I won, I raised almost $2 million at the JDRF Breakthrough T1D Hope Close Gala. Since then, I've raised an additional $1,200 for Breakthrough T1D through my community service initiative, Type Wonderful Dreams. Over $300 for the Go Red for Women campaign with the partnership between the Miss America organization and the American Heart Association. Over $600 through my People's Choice Spot Fund that will go directly to the Miss America organization, and my Best of Martinsville and Henry County purse contained over $1,000 in donations from this community, and was auctioned off at the Miss Virginia pageant to raise scholarships for young women. Guess who donated all of that money? This community. This community is the key for the crown. Talk about support. You have all completely changed my life forever, and that's a compliment. I am still amazed by the people who find me at church and out and about and say nice and uplifting things. I can't thank you enough. Now, before I leave you all today, I have to give one last thank you to the most crucial supporter, teacher, and father, my Savior, Jesus Christ. All the glory and success has been given to me through him providing. So thank you all again for your support, and have a blessed day.
I'll say that Megan is a student at Magna Vista this year, and Jenna just started her first teaching job at Carver Elementary, first grade, so congratulations.
Could you wait
Yes.
there just a moment?
Oh.
The board will come down and present a
All right, board members, if you will come down. What we will do is have a picture of you all with board. Family members, if you want to do a photo op, you may want to move toward the middle. Afterwards, board members will come back up and will like to afford you the opportunity to have a picture made with your family.
Brandon behind you in the black shirt will provide instruction. Just come up in front of me a little more.
I can have everyone look this way. Ready, 3, 2, 1.
And then family members, if you would like to come up and have your picture made.
Ready, 3, 2, 1.
One of the key words that we heard as they were both making their remarks was service in this community, and we thank you all for representing your community well, and it doesn't go unnoticed of the service items that you're providing and continue to be ambassadors of your title. So again, congratulations to you both. That takes us to general highway matters. David, I'm sorry we don't have a crown for you, but we'll let you wing it without a crown.
Thank you.
Well, good evening. I have a few updates on some items for you all tonight. First is the bridge construction on 220 over the Reed Creek is complete. That bridge was the old original side, so the other bridge isn't going to be replaced anytime soon. It was much newer. This was the original one. Also, we recently completed adding a turn lane off 58 to the Axton Elementary School to help improve safety in that location. A couple of upcoming projects. There was a pedestrian improvement, a safety improvement project at the intersection of 220 Business and Daniels Creek Road. It's scheduled to be advertised in September. The smart scale project for safety improvements at Dogwood Drive, the ad date now is for early 2026. Right now we have paving going on. They are paving on 58 right now, and upcoming after that is 57 at Cole, the ramps at Lowell Park and the Cloverleaf, and then 58 west from Trent Hill to Stone's Dairy. That's all I have for you all tonight.
Board members, do you have anything for Mr. Kaiser while he's here? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 13, we'll conduct a public hearing referencing budget amendment appropriating funds from the 1% sales tax fund for new construction and renovation for the school board. Mr. Wagner, if you'll provide some background, please.
The school board is requesting the appropriation of $4,730,328 from the 1% sales tax fund designated for new construction and renovation of schools. The school board has indicated the funds will be used to construct athletic field houses at Bassett and Magna Vista High Schools. Since the amount requested exceeds 1% of the total county budget, as required by the Code of Virginia, the board must hold a public hearing before appropriating the funds.
I'll open a public hearing to take input on this at 6:17 p.m. Is there anyone wishing to address the board in this public hearing? I see a couple of hands. This is a brief policy statement I'll read before you come forward. This is a time for public comment. We welcome your participation in tonight's meeting. We're here to listen to you. If you care to address the board, come to the podium, state your name and the district in which you live. By coming to the podium, you've agreed that you'll exhibit respect for the board and its members and the staff. You will receive the same consideration from the board and staff. Please try to keep your presentation to no more than 5 minutes. Ms. Martin, I think I saw your hand first.
Good evening. Thank y'all for having us. I'd like to go off subject just a second and thank VDOT. They put yellow lines down Cameron Road. I'm real happy with that. Now most of the people out there know their half is not in the middle. So I'm very appreciative of that. I am very supportive of the schools having their athletic field houses. It's been on the wish list of both high schools for many years, and it's something that is definitely needed. And we've never had the money to do it. And now, since the taxpayers themselves went to the polls and voted to give us this 1% for our use, I'm sincerely hoping that I can see a 6-0 vote up there tonight to let the schools take this money and build the field houses that both high schools richly deserve. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Reynolds, I saw your hand.
The field house, it's always been something we've wanted in Bassett. And when I was in Kiwanis, Jimmy, I think at one time we had voted to give $25,000 towards the field house at the time. Bass Furniture donated $25,000. But we never could get approval because Magna Vista couldn't raise their money. So now that we got 1%, I'm hoping we can get this accomplished, which will help not only football, but soccer at Bassett also. You know, Upper 90, they raised a lot of money, got a lot of participation. and the soccer teams. But also while I'm here, I wanted to talk about Blackberry. I'm in the Collinsville district, but I'm in the process of moving to Blackberry. And I noticed last year, I think I talked to you about the grass being mowed because it was so high.
This is actually addressing the school issue.
All right.
If you wish to speak again on matters presented by the public, we can take that comment then.
Okay. I'm supporting both bill houses, but I do want to address sometime or another the problems with Blackberry Road, the grass, and things of that nature.
All right?
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to address the board in this public hearing in regard to the budget amendment? Anyone else? Seeing and hearing no indication as such, I will close the public hearing at 6:20 p.m. The board has adequate background material on this, and you've had an opportunity to review. What is the action the board wishes to take?
Mr. Chairman, I make a recommendation of approving the additional appropriations as requested.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Nothing other than, I think it's great, and I want to commend the leadership for making this happen. I go to a lot of the football games, and it's nothing scarier than watching those kids walk from the field back to the school with helmets and shoulder pads in the middle of the crowd. And I know some other measures have been taking place to put them on buses to get them up top and everything. But this would be, for student safety, fan safety, and I think it's a great thing, and, commend the leadership for making this happen.
Okay. Is there any other discussion or questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? It is 6-0, Jennifer. That takes us to agenda item 14, matters presented by the public. Is there anyone wishing to address the board under matters presented by the public? Anyone wishing to address the board? Seeing and hearing no indication such, that takes us to agenda item 15. But prior to that, Mr. Wagner, do you have any items that the board needs to consider before adjournment?
I do not.
Board members, do you have any?
No, sir.
If not, I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? It is 6-0, Jennifer. Everyone have a good evening.